All right, good morning or afternoon, wherever you guys are, and thank you guys very much for joining us today. As Mary said, my name is Misty Mitchell. I am the Director of Conservation Programs at Wonders of Wildlife and the Johnny Morris Foundation, and oversee education at both Wonders of Wildlife National Museum and Aquarium, also Dogwood Canyon Nature Park, and Ancient Ozark Natural History Museum. Unfortunately, Brian Noday, which is our Vice President of Conservation Attractions, he just got pulled away off the call, so he's not going to be able to join us, but he's excited to be part of Mission Conservation and everything that we're doing, and we're super excited to tell you about it and hope that you will join us in this endeavor. On the call today, we also have Shelby Stevenson. She is our PR manager, and she's actually going to be talking about social media when we get down to that section. And then also Crystal Carey is on the call, and she is our Senior Manager of Marketing. So that is the team we have here at Wonders of Wildlife. Thanks, Mary.
Great, thanks, Misty. And from Agents of Discovery, we have myself, Mary Clark. I am the director here at Agents of Discovery, and two of my team are on the line today. Jay Stevenson. Jay's going to be doing some demos of the image recognition technology and how it works. And Kendra Langrish. Kendra has done a fantastic job coordinating all of this, so thank you very much to both of you. The agenda today is primarily going to focus on mission conservation. We believe that most of you on the call are very interested in participating in this national program. We are going to also be covering how, if you have a license with Agents of Discovery, if you have a mission and you'd like to know how to turn it into an image triggered mission, we are going to be covering that later in the call, closer to 2 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be staying on the line till as long as you have questions. The webinar a couple days ago went right through for I think 90 minutes. So most of the call, just to recap, is going to be about mission conservation, and in however long it takes, in 45 or 50 minutes, we will be switching over to IR triggers. If you are not interested in that piece, at that point, you'll be welcome to hop off the call, but just want you to know what to expect. And again, as I said, we are doing a recording of today's session, so that will be available to you after. So I would like to start by introducing an amazing individual who has spent his entire career promoting the great outdoors across the US, Derrick Crandall. And Derrick is very much one of the people behind this partnership. And Derrick, we'd love to have you make some introductory remarks for us.
Well, thank you very much. We are so excited, Mary and Misty. Thank you. What a fun way to celebrate a new chapter in working together to outreach to kids and share the story of conservation. So I come with a variety of hats today, representing park concessioners, the outdoor recreation industry, and a number of others. And the fun thing is that all of those organizations, like all of the organizations on this call, share a great belief in the advantages of partnership and how technology can be our friend in the 21st century. So this is a very timely gathering. It's exciting too, because I think we now have gone through all of the testing we need to do to be sure that we have a very viable way to share information that's truly important with America's youth and be a part of transferring a sense of pride in what we are accomplishing as partners in terms of the great outdoors and conservation issues. I want to say that this is in sharp contrast. There are an awful lot of people probably on this call who are going through a process of dealing with becoming teachers for kids who are now being homeschooled thanks to COVID-19. And I am speaking from Fairfax County, Virginia, which likes to see itself as one of the foremost educational institutions in this country. And let me tell you, they've been learning the hard way that looking at modern technology to transfer information is not an easy task. School's out in Fairfax County once again today because of technology failures, and this is a month after school has been canceled. We're not like that. Agents of Discovery and the efforts that many of you on this call already have launched are working. It's tested, and it's delivering proven results. This is all about blending fun and education and enlisting the partnership of passionate people who are thrilled by opportunities for advancing education in innovative ways. It's also a logical way where visionary leaders that I so admire in government, in education, in the private sector, and let me give a shout out to Johnny Morris as just an incredible private sector leader in the conservation movement. We're all in this together, and I'm so excited about where we can go. So thank you for being on the call, but thank you even more for all of the work that you've put in to making sure that America and Canada and others are leaders in conservation worldwide, and that we have successive generations who will take up that important issue. So Mary, Misty, and all of those on the call, thanks so much. I'm looking forward to this discussion.
Thank you very much, Derrick. And I'd like to hand it over to you, Misty. I know you are going to sort of explain. We've got some people on the call that really are not familiar with this platform, and some that have been using it for years. So Misty, I'm going to let you go ahead and sort of set the stage, and then I know you're going to work with Jay to do a demo. So go ahead, please, Misty.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mary. And Derrick, that was great. I mean, that's exactly, we're all in this together. I mean, this is all new for us. Everything that's happening, you know, we're all used to being outdoors. We're all used to having kids in the schoolroom, classrooms, coming to our facilities, and that's all changed. And so now it is our turn to really get education to them in their homes, which is different than what a lot of us have done. And so I think this Agents of Discovery has become a very timely thing for us. We actually started working, just kind of a history, with Agents of Discovery in October, so the fall of 2019. And our plan was to launch it inside the Johnny Morris Warner's Wildlife National Museum and Aquarium there in Springfield, Missouri. You know, we have about 52,000 kids come through on field experiences. And so we can educate a few of those, you know, a few thousand or so in our classrooms, but we can't educate the whole 52,000 kids that come through on an annual basis because there's just not enough educators. So it was, how can we expand our reach to those kids so they're not just running through our facilities? For those of us that are at nature centers and other facilities like that, we've seen those kids, the kids that just run through and they're back out in 15, 20 minutes. You're going, where did you miss the, you know, the sharks or whatever that is they didn't get to see? So we worked with agents. We developed these curriculum-based missions that were both met to national and state standards for both our museum, our aquarium, and then also down at Dogwood Nature Park. And we were going to launch those this spring. Well, just like in Fairfax, all the schools here in the state of Missouri are out, and all of our field trips that were scheduled have been canceled, and all those kids are now at home. So everything that we have ready to go inside our facility is there, and it's going to be able to be used in future years. But right now, with our facility closed, we can't use it. And so we had to really start thinking out of the box, is how do we get information to the kids at their home? Are really looking for things for their kids to do. They've never really had to be at home with them on a day-to-day basis doing schoolwork with them. Schools are struggling to get information to kids. So it's kind of this, you know, opening can of worms at how can we really help them? And that's what we really wanted to do with agents. Agents is, what I look at agents when I started working with them is just like a digital scavenger hunt. If you ever heard all of the buzz around Pokemon Go, well, this is Pokemon Go, but the educational side of Pokemon Go is what agents is. And so these digital scavenger hunts allow kids to use technology, and we're not going to get them away from technology. I mean, technology is here to stay. We just have to learn how to use technology to engage them in the outdoors and engage them in conservation. So then they will want to go hiking and biking and all of those activities we want them to get involved in. So with that, one of the things I want to do is have Jay just kind of show you some of the activities that the kids would do on their phone. So what Agents does is you use your cell phone device, and then you will scan a trigger, is what we'd call it. So that's how you get the question or the activity to do. And so what Jay's going to do is he's going to take over the screen and take over the talk for just a little bit and show you a couple of activities that you could do as part of an Agents game.
All right, thank you, Misty.
Just one thing, Misty, sorry, but just to add is that you can use a tablet, any Android or iOS device, cell phones and tablets.
All right, so thank you both. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and showcase the first mission or one of the missions in the mission conservation package. So this mission is called Home Sweet Home for Emerging Learners. This mission is already available live, and all of the triggers for it are available off of the Wonders of Wildlife website. If you scroll down here on the mission conservation page, about halfway down, you'll see all of the trigger images that you need to scan for all of the missions that we're going to release here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to quickly minimize this, and I'm going to put my phone screen onto the PC screen really quickly. And I'm going to show you how to do this. And if any of you have the Agents of Discovery app already downloaded onto your phone, then you can actually follow along with me right now as I'm doing this. You just need to make sure that you have the triggers available to you, and they should be available once again from the Mission Conservation website. So I'll just quickly get rid of the screen mirroring controls, and I'll pull open the app here. And after I wait for it to load here, I just want to go ahead. I don't need to worry about being logged in. That's just to save progress. I'm just going to do 3 quick challenges in this mission. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on missions. And once the mission list has loaded here, it's going to pull some missions that are all in my area. So I just want to make sure I'm searching for Home Sweet Home. And there we go. So Bass Pro has 2 versions of this, and I'm going to pick the Emerging Learner quest. So I'm going to tap on this download cloud. That's going to download the mission to my device so I can play it even if I don't have Wi-Fi or data. And now I'm going to hit play, and it's going to load this wonderful loading page. And Agent Bald Eagle is going to greet us and say, "Are you ready to explore the wild world filled with animals and the places they call home? Let's go." So I'm going to tap to continue. And we've got a wonderful map here with all sorts of trigger markers that we can scan. So these don't represent actual challenges, but if I tap on one of these, it's going to prompt me to scan one of these trigger markers. So I'm going to tap on the one in the middle here, and it's going to ask me to be on the lookout for an American alligator. Oh, something happened there. Looks like it got a little excited, and okay, so that wasn't quite supposed to happen. What I was supposed to do in that scenario was just bring up the browser here, and then all I would need to do is scan the American alligator wherever it's located. So unfortunately, it looks like the app just got a little bit excited there. Okay, well, the alligator I think is at the first half of the collection. So basically, once you scan a trigger, you'll see a pre-challenge section come up for the mission that it's linked to. So in this case, I'm seeing that cave habitats are very different from above ground habitats. And I'm going to read through this and hit close, and that's going to bring me to my challenge. So this is an AR picker challenge, which means that all of the answers to this question are actually going to float around me as I'm moving my phone around. So you guys are going to get a little bit of a tour of my improvised home office, and I'm going to need to choose all the ways nutrients and food can be brought into a cave from outside. So I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to see if I can find some good examples of when nutrients are brought into a cave. Brought in by animals, that's probably a good one. Wash in by flowing water. When plants grow in caves, that wasn't quite right, so I just want to see if I can find the last correct answer wherever it may be floating around. And you'll all get to see a lovely tour of my home. When animals die in caves, that was the correct answer. So there we go. I've gotten a congratulatory message for this challenge, and it's giving me a new piece of information just to reward me because I've internalized this information after completing this challenge. So I'm going to hit close on this one, and that'll bring me back to my mission map. And now, as you can see, it's given me a trigger here. Or sorry, the original trigger that I would have scanned has disappeared, and now this one has popped up in its place. So I'll go ahead and choose another one here, and hopefully this one will be a bit more responsive. So I've clicked on this top trigger up here, and now I'm going to need to find a praying mantis. So on the website here, I'm just going to quickly find the mantis, and now I'll bring this back over, and I'll try to, oh, sorry about that. So now I just want to try to bring it in close to the praying mantis, and I don't need to press any buttons. I can just let it do its thing really quickly. Oh. There we go. So it's found the praying mantis trigger, and now it's going to pull up the relevant challenge. And there we go. So I found the pre-challenge info for this challenge. It's going to tell me about freshwater lakes and how these are home to several aquatic animals and plants. And this is going to be an AR catch challenge. So once again, you're going to see my office, and I'm going to try to throw this net and try and catch some fish with it. So I'm just holding down on this net, and I'm dragging it and releasing it and seeing if I can catch the fish in the background. I caught about 3 in that one throw, so that's pretty good. I just need 1 more, and there we go. So I've completed that challenge now. And it's asking me if I can name other animals that I would call a lake, river, or stream home. So just another way to kind of reinforce that knowledge. So I'm going to hit close on that. And once again, you can see that that trigger has disappeared, and the challenge marker has replaced it with a check mark to show that I've completed the challenge. So I'll just do one more example down here. So I'm going to click on this trigger, and it wants me to scan the mallard duck. So I'm just going to try and find that, and we'll try and scan that really quickly. Okay, there we go. So now that it's scanned the mallard duck, once again, it's bringing up a new challenge. The Arctic is located around our Earth's North Pole. What living things can you find in the Arctic? Probably not flamingos, but probably a polar bear, and probably some wolves. So these are the 2 that I need to select. So I'm going to check my answer, and there we go. So I'm good on that one. And that's essentially what I need to do for the rest of the challenges in this mission. I just need to click on these trigger markers, scan the appropriate image that it asks me to scan, and then once the challenge comes up, I just need to complete that challenge. And then once I've completed all the challenges, it'll give me a congratulatory message. And then hopefully I can go to the visitor center to collect a prize. But in any case, I'll have completed the mission at that point. So at this point in time, I will pass it back to Misty, who is going to talk a little bit more about the intricate plans for the mission conservation campaign.
Thank you very much, Jay. So if you notice, he used triggers on the website. So when we originally worked with Agents of Discovery, we were actually going to be using our exhibits. So the kids would actually walk into the aquarium, into the wildlife galleries, and they would be able to use and scan a whole exhibit. So we have a huge 40-foot long humpback whale that is actually in the ceiling of one of our exhibits. And that is one of the triggers that the kids would scan with their phone. They would hold their phone up and scan it. And actually, Kendra, if you'll slide up so we can see the humpback whale with the boat. Up to the top there, okay, yep, right there. So that is the humpback whale, and the kids walk around on this railing area, and they would scan that whale, and it would pop up and give them their challenge or their activity to complete. And then they would continue on through the aquarium, and they might scan the shipwreck exhibit, which is another great big aquarium. They would scan that whole aquarium, and it would pop up. So it got the kids up and active, engaged. And these things that you scan are called triggers, and they actually get your next question or your next activity to come up. Another way that Agents works is if you are at a location that is outside, so like down at Dogwood Nature Park, we actually use what's called GPS. So say we have a treehouse area there and we want the trigger to come up, and that to, when you get into a radius of 50 feet, you would then, that would pop up on your phone. So you wouldn't have anything to scan. It would know that you have found that location by GPS. But unfortunately, with us being indoors, we use triggers, which is cool because kids can actually scan these exhibits, which are really cool. And that's one real important thing for Wonders of Wildlife, is we really didn't want to add a lot of signage where people would be disrupted, because it's a very full, immersive aquarium exhibit. And so by using the full 3D exhibits really helped us in engaging with our guests to do that. So now we did that, but how do you take that into a format to take it in the house? I can't bring a 40-foot humpback whale into somebody's house. And so when we closed, we had a lot of conversations with Agents of Discovery and said, you know, what can we do? We want to educate kids at home with their family. We want to make it fun. We want to make it exciting. And we want to make it interactive for them. And so that's where we started the conversations of what are the other options to be able to do. And so with that, we started creating the triggers that you saw and have created what we call mission conservation. So if we'll slide down on the screen. So what we've done is we're doing it on Mondays, and we call them Mission Mondays. So every single Monday over the next couple months, we'll be releasing 2 new missions. And we are releasing a mission for emerging learners, which is approximately kindergarten through 4th grade. And then another mission for advanced learners, which is about 5th grade through high school. That doesn't mean, you know, everybody can play any mission, but just in how we've geared the questions and what's there in content kind of relates to those age groups. So this week's mission was called Home Sweet Home. And we really concentrated on habitats of animals. You know, I made all of the activities more broad, so an international scope to them. Even though we're located in Springfield, Missouri, we wanted this to be able to be used all over the world for anybody to be able to send it out to their families, to engage them in conservation. I think that was an important part for us. Knowing that a lot of these families are in a sheltered-in situation, some of them don't have a lot of outdoor areas to be with. We wanted to make sure that the activities were done in a place that they were safe. I do try to get them to step outside and maybe take a picture of the backyard, things like that. So I do try to encourage that. I also, in some of the missions, will say, you know, next time you're visiting a zoo or aquarium, look at the habitats and where is the food, water, shelter? Or when you're visiting the nature center, what habitat are you in? So next time they go visit those areas, they will be able to look at that because they've learned about habitats. So that's this week's mission. So then on April 20th, next Monday, we will launch our next one, which is actually going to be in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service and Woodsy the Owl. So we're excited to be partnering with them, and it's going to be around Earth Day. We think that's a very important tie. And one of the things as we've moved throughout is we've tried to tie to these days that are celebrated. You know, Earth Day celebrating their 50th anniversary. Normally people got outdoors, they had huge events, and it was a big promotion. A lot of us had events in our own locations, but you know, it's different this year. Things have changed. We're all at home, working in our home offices, which is a total lot different for us. So we're going to do this with them, and we're excited to be partnering with this. And then April 27th, as our next Monday, we'll be doing Arbor Day. We do realize that Arbor Day is the 24th, but we needed to pull that back, and we're going to celebrate, and we're going to do Arbor Day on the 27th. So we'll have a week. It's called All About Trees. Same thing, an emerging learner and an advanced learner. So every single week, I'm not going to go through all of them. We're going to have a different mission tied to a different day. Everything from World Turtle Day to Oceans Day. We're going to have National Fishing and Boating Week, Pollinator Week. So celebrating and tying into conservation days that are important to our community and our conservation partners, and giving families things to do indoors while they're sheltered in, but also with a little bit of scope on the outside, and talking about places they can go in the future to see these things. So super excited about this. The other thing that we're doing, which each one of these is, we have created activities to go with them. So Kendra will pull up that activity sheet. So on Mission Monday activities, we're working on getting this on the website. We've created these activities. So not only do we have a mission for our families to get involved in, we have activities they can use through the week. This week being habitats, we've created the dioramas. Most of us have probably used this activity in classroom programs, things like that. Get a cardboard box and they create a diorama on their own. And then we have Mission Conservation Scavenger Hunt. The thing about these triggers, you saw that they were on the website. We really want to encourage families to print them off. And I'll talk a little bit more about triggers here in a minute. And then they can move them around their house, or they can put them in their backyard. And we think that is super important for them to get the kids up and not just doing it on a screen. But if they don't have the ability to print them, they can still play the game. Adding a habitat twist to this is the triggers are animals. So parents and kids can talk about, would this agent, so if it's Agent Beaver, where would he live? And he would live in a pond. And why would he live there? And so they can talk about habitats and continue to add more to knowledge on that. And we'll have activities every month. If we'll slide to the very end, second to the end of the document where we talk about fish art. We'll talk about partners and really what we're looking for in partnership. There's no money involved in the partnership and getting involved in this. It's really about getting the word out, but we'll provide the ability for our partners to add activities. So if they have an activity that they use in their facility, or if, like for this activity, it is the Wildlife Forever Fish Art, which is a state fish art contest. And they are actually going to be, I've highlighted them in here, and kids can now enter into the fish art contest, which is super cool to get involved in. So every single week, we will have new activities, new partners that we can highlight as we move forward, and we're excited to be able to add that. So not only do we have digital missions for families to get involved in, we also have things that they can do at home as a family unit throughout the week. And so really expand the knowledge on habitats throughout that week. So we're excited about that. So then let's look at triggers. So the triggers, this is the printable copy of the triggers. And I think I saw a question that asked, do the triggers have to be in color? The triggers have to be in color when they're printed, and that's why we've put them on the website too, because some families may not be able to print them, but these are all the agents and they're going to be our triggers. So when I say trigger, they will then bring up the next question or the next activity to participate in. And so for every single mission that we run, or scavenger hunt, in old school terms, scavenger hunt, these will bring up that question. And so there's 10 of them. And so you'll have 10 different questions that the kids can participate in as they move forward. So then, hang on just a second. My computer on the side stopped. All right, so then let's look, I believe it's the agents next. Kendra, I apologize, I lost my script for my agenda there for a minute. Yeah, so our avatars are next. So each of our missions has an avatar that ties to that. And so that is kind of the guidance. He guides them. So this week we have Agent Eagle. And Agent Eagle kind of helps the kids along the way and they help him to solve whatever mystery we're looking for, which is super cool to be able to do. Kids are really drawn to characters. You think of Smokey the Bear. Or Woodsy the Owl. You can think of all of the different characters that kids love. They love costume characters or facilities if we ever do that. So we have picked an avatar for every single week that represents those missions that we are preparing and putting together. And so those are going to be the avatars for each of those weeks, and that's what we'll have in our social media post as we move forward. As a reward for completing each of our missions, we are creating AR filters and badges. We'll talk about badges first. So we're creating, so we'll talk about badges. So when a kid finishes a mission, so if they finish the Habitat mission this week, they receive a Eagle Mission Conservation badge, okay? And next week when they receive a Frog Mission Conservation badge, and they can collect those. And so if you have kids at home and they play games, video games, or even you guys, when you play video games on your phone, whether it be Bubble Breaker or Word Search or whatever that is, more than likely you're getting digital badges, some type of digital reward where you get things and you're like, oh, I made it to the next level, I've succeeded that. So that's kind of what this is. It's really bringing that gaming technology and kids wanting to earn that next level and that next badge. So what the kids will do is, this is when it's important for kids to log on. So they're creating an account with their parents' permission, and then they can then collect the badges over time. What we're hoping to do, which we haven't got this all finalized, is we're hoping at the end of this, if a child finishes, let's say 5 badges and comes with 5 badges, there's some type of reward that they would get that would they could actually get from one of our locations. But we're working on that. Right now, everything is digitalized for our badges because most places are closed. So we're still working on how we would do that in the future. But not only do we have these badges that kids can earn, we're also going to tie into social media. So for our social media, we have created filters. So if we could show the filter that we've created. So this is the filter that we have. We're actually had planned on doing Facebook filters, but unfortunately Facebook is not approving their filters right now with COVID-19. So we have done Instagram, and so this is an Instagram filter. And so I don't know how many of you are technology savvy or have got teenagers in the house that do filters, but filters are a pretty big thing in Snapchat and in Instagram, a little less in Facebook, but in the Snapchat world, that is a pretty big deal. And so we've got these filters. And so when you complete the mission of that week, you would scan the QR code and then open up your Instagram or Snapchat, and then you would get to take pictures with that filter. So we have this filter. Do we have the Smokey the Bear filter too, Kendra? If we don't, it's okay. And then we also have one for Smokey the Bear. There's the Smokey the Bear. And that one is a Snapchat filter. So that one is Snapchat, and it says only you can prevent wildfires. Wow. Wildfires. And so that can be then shared with your friends. So as I said, if you've got a teenager, you probably know exactly what they are. But if you don't, you may not, but they're pretty popular, really utilized in that preteen and teenage years. And kids are always trying to look for new filters and new things. And so we're going to design new filters every single week for each of our missions that kids can then download and use on their social media feeds. So that'll be another good way to be able to do that. So now we're going to be talking about social media. We're going to be I'm going to let Shelby Stevenson take over on the social media side. Kendra's going to bring up our social media post, but she's going to talk about what we're doing with social media and what our reach is. Shelby?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, thank you for pulling up our social media posts. Again, my name is Shelby. I'm the public relations manager for Wonders of Wildlife, and I also help support our social media team. So just wanted to talk really quickly about the ways that we are finding most effective to get the word out about mission conservation, because time being spent on social media has skyrocketed since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. And it makes sense. I'm sure a lot of us can say that we are guilty of that as well. And so this is really the perfect time for us to be getting in front of our audience on a thing like this that's engaging and exciting for parents to offer to board kiddos at home, while also supporting our mission of inspiring everyone to connect with the great outdoors and get involved in conservation. So we launched our first ever social post for this Mission Conservation Mission Mondays series this past Monday. Saw some really encouraging numbers off of that. Just a few numbers to share from you on the back end of our page that you won't be able to see from the screen that's being displayed right now. And we did share this on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where collectively we have just shy of 100,000 followers. Total impressions were just over 51,000, 2,351 engagements, 653 reactions, 40 comments, and most importantly, 170 shares. And I really want to highlight the importance of shares when we're looking at for a post like this. Again, from your end, you won't be able to see the depth of the sharing that we can see, but yeah, Kendra, that's great what you're pulling up there. As you go through those, some really cool things being shared from, not only conservation organizations, but also from teachers sharing it on the pages that their parents' students are on. We've seen lots of sharing from scout groups, youth groups, all sorts of groups where parents are gathering, looking for ways to entertain their kids during this time where they're playing the tricky role of work from home and parent from home. And the response to Agents of Discovery has been overwhelmingly positive. And we know that the momentum is just going to continue to build with this exciting new campaign. This was just the first of, like Misty said, a post we'll be doing every single Monday over the next several weeks. And the image that you see on the post, which is kind of this exterior photo of Wonders of Wildlife with Agent Eagle there in the foreground of the image that we use for the social posts every week will look just like this, but the agent will be changed out. So next Monday, it will be the same image, but in the place of Agent Eagle, you'll see Woodsy Owl. And that will help people start to recognize when they see these new posts on our page, oh, a new mission has been launched. I've got new challenges to go and play to earn those badges and to earn those filters. So we're really excited to see the momentum continue to build and grow. The cadence that we have landed on is 10 a.m. Central Time every Monday morning. So that's when you can always count on heading over to our page to see our new Mission Monday post. And that's just a great time as parents and kiddos are coming off that weekend, probably trying to start their workday. 10 a.m. is that time where, oh gosh, kids are starting to get bored. What can we do? And we're going to hit them strategically right at that time to really hopefully engage these kiddos while also fulfilling our mission. But the bottom line is, the thing that we all know is that there's strength in numbers. And so by having partners and organizations like all of you on the phone today behind us, helping share these new missions every Monday, getting the word out, I really think we can make a positive impact for conservation, even during these uncertain and ever-changing times. So thanks, Misty, for letting me speak to that.
Thanks, Shelby. That was awesome. So really, that's kind of an overview of everything that we've put together, and we're our partners, and this is what we're asking for you guys, is there's no financial contribution in this. It's just really about getting the word out. We need to work together as a conservation team to really push conservation to the homes of all of these people. We know they can't get to a lot of our facilities, and we don't know how long that's going to be. And so what we're trying to do is just getting partners to help us. So every single week we have a mission post, and what we're asking is if our partners will help us post that. And if they commit to posting every single week for each one of our missions, then we will then put your website or put your logo on our website as one of our mission launch partners. And that means you are helping us push our mission forward and your mission. And we're also looking for feedback and adding your activities into our activity guides. And so really it's about a bigger picture. It's a bigger picture than just Wonders of Wildlife and the Johnny Morris Foundation. And I think that's what we really want to say is, hey, we know families are needing this information. We know we want to keep conservation at the forefront. We want to keep it exciting. We want to keep it fun. If we can do that, we think in the long run, all of us will see kids come back to our facilities. They will come and see, and they'll be more educated. Hopefully they're taking what they learned from habitats or invasive species or whatever that is, and they're taking it into our facilities, and they're more knowledgeable about those topics. But they also had a lot of fun with them. And so what we're looking for is for people, organizations to help us push our mission forward and getting more people involved in conservation in this new setting. You can become a conservation partner where you're pushing every single week. And we would add your logo to our website, just like you've seen. And that's just a social media push, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and just really saying, hey, check this out. This is a great thing for your kids to get involved in. Or if you are dedicated to just oceans and some of these other missions don't fit your mission as an organization, that's okay. We understand that. So what we have been able to do is we also have the loading screen. You saw the loading screen when Jay brought it up. Right now, it just has our mission, conservation, and our logo on it. We can actually put 4 logos on that. So say I'm only interested in the ocean one, then what we would do is have you then help us with that ocean mission. And then we would put your logo on this page as kids pulled it up. And that gives us the ability to have a whole lot of partners, as many as wants to get on board to be able to send this out and get this all over. And that's what's exciting about this, is just really being able to work as a community. The conservation community is amazing, working together to just really build our conservation stewardship of our citizens. I think that's what's important about this, and engaging them in a fun way. And so that's really what we want to do. One of the things that you guys can't see that I can see on the back side is when we look at, I can look at statistics on the back of each one of these missions. I can look at the playtime. So right now, with our emerging mission, the playtime is about 37 minutes. So that means on average, kids are spending about 37 minutes doing the mission, which is cool to see. So we're being able to look and track those type of statistics on the backside. We know that we had over 300 downloads of the mission that they played. Now, does that mean there could have been 2 or 3 kids playing that? So we do have, and that's just in the past 3 days since we launched it on Monday. So we're seeing a lot of that. We are seeing that the emerging, which is the younger learner, is being utilized more than the advanced learner, which is what we kind of figured would happen. But we did want to provide both of those abilities. So that's pretty much kind of everything. And I know there was a lot of information. And if you're not familiar with the technology of Agents of Discovery, you may not understand everything completely. But I hope this gave you an overview of what we were doing and really what we want to accomplish. And the key is we just really want to get everybody on board with us to try to move the conservation needle and try to keep kids engaged in conservation during this time. So Mary, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
No, Misty, there's a question here for you and Shelby. Just Andrea is saying it would be helpful if there were Facebook posts summarizing the Mission Monday. That would make creating posts and forwarding information easier. So can you or Shelby speak to that, Misty, about how people can get those Mission Monday posts?
Shelby, you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I want to make sure that I fully understand the question from you, Andrea. So I think if I'm understanding correctly, and feel free to comment if I need to clarify further, we will be sharing our posts at 10 a.m. every Monday. And from there, any other organization is welcome to share the post directly from our page. If you would like to create your own post, which you're also welcome to do, you're welcome to tag us. Our handle is Wonders of Wildlife. Then the information for the mission each week can be found on our website, the different themes. Does that answer your question? Or do I need to clarify something else?
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. I was also thinking, I mean, if there were other organizations doing the same type of thing, instead of having to track 50 different groups, if there was a cumulative list of, hey, this is what everyone's doing this week, that would be helpful in pushing out that information easier. Does that make sense? So that's where that would come into Agents of Discovery. My question specifically was saying to Agents of Discovery if they were able to have a cumulative list of who was kind of pushing out what when, you know, maybe on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, that would be helpful.
Gotcha. Yeah, Mary, you are probably better to speak to that question than I am.
Well, I think tracking it just directly, like through Facebook and Instagram, is the easiest way. This is such a fast moving campaign. I'm not, yeah, I mean, I'd have to think about that. I think just grabbing the posts, as you're saying, at 10 a.m. every Monday and sharing them, and then you'll be able to see who else, Andrea, is sharing them just in social media. So maybe we can have more of an in-depth conversation about that afterwards. But that, what we had envisioned is that, you know, Shelby does the post Monday at 10 a.m., which is a very strategic time. And then we all share them from there. Shelby, is that a good summary, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think Wonders of Wildlife, since we're the kind of the host for this mission conservation series,
Yeah.
Posting on our pages every week at 10 a.m. But I think, Andrea, to your point, if other Agents of Discovery clients outside of the WOW organization who maybe have missions that are also converting to digital are also planning to share and post them on their social channels, that could be a cool thing just for us to also support each other. So Mary, I don't know if you have had anyone else who has previously run AOD as a location-based app and is now trying to move to this in-home option. If maybe you have other clients that we can be supporting as well, saying, hey, go check out this mission.
Oh yeah, and a lot of them are on the line today. So I think a lot will want to support you, and we're definitely reaching out to them. And we of course, Andrea, are sharing the posts, you know, every Monday at 10 a.m. as well, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. So Conservation Federation, Misty, is saying, how do you access the missions if you're unable to print the triggers?
So you can access the mission by using just the triggers on the website. So you do not have to print them. So you would have to have two devices, a computer or an iPad, and then you can also then have a cell phone or an iPad to be able to scan the triggers on your computer screen, just like Jay did. He scanned the triggers on his screen of his computer.
Yeah, Conservation Federation, we just like the idea, the option for parents and educators to print the triggers out, because then they can place them in the yard or around the house. It just makes for more of a scavenger hunt rather than just scanning them right from their computer screen. And to access the mission, just in case you're not sure on that, you get the mission from the App Store or Play Store. You download Agents of Discovery, and then you find the mission of the week in your phone, and you use the triggers to activate that mission.
That's really good information there, Mary. I forgot to say that, didn't I?
Yeah, I was thinking there might be that piece that they're thinking, where do I get the mission in the first place? And that's available through the app or Play Store. Misty, you know, all of the WOW missions, the Monday missions, are published in the app and Play Store by the Mission Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And then Miguel is saying, are these weekly missions automatically loaded? And yes, they're automatically loaded into the mission list, Miguel. So any player anywhere in the world can access them from their phone or tablet.
And the one thing that I've been doing is they will all be named Mission Monday, Home Sweet Home, Mission Monday, all about trees. So we're starting everything with Mission Monday. That way, let's say somebody doesn't find out about these missions until we get down to endangered species. We want them to be able to pull up endangered species, but also see those other missions that were already out there that they could go back and play.
Yeah, and Angelina, if you're trying to scan the triggers right now, I highly recommend you open the PDF. The triggers that are scanning on that little scan code move fairly quickly, and they're a little small. So you want to open the PDF and scan from there, and you'll find it's a lot easier to scan them. And that's what you print from. If you're, if you were doing these missions yourself and wanted to print out the triggers, you would open the PDF. Can you just show us, Kendra, where that PDF, click here to print the trigger. So you should really, oh, I see you've added a little white space, Misty. That's awesome. But it's better to click there to, I think we should even say to scan and print the triggers, because it's easier in the PDF. Okay, Angelina? So Misty, thank you very much for that. Angelina says, yep, okay, that's good. This is new technology. It replaces, QR codes, or which are now called flow codes, but it's basically the same thing. So an IR trigger it just is sensitive to borders and things. So you are better off to open the PDF and scan from there. But Misty, thank you very much for that amazing overview. I'm sure there'll be questions still coming in. We do have Christine from the city of Brisbane, Australia, who's going to very briefly share an international perspective on this. And then we are going to move to Jay, who will be telling all of you, if you have an Agents of Discovery mission and you want to turn it into an image triggered mission, how to do that. It's very easy. And we are making triggers available for you to use during the pandemic.
All right. Good morning and afternoon, everybody. Thanks for having me, Agents of Discovery. This has been a fantastic webinar. Every time I discuss with various partners around Australia and in the States about Agents of Discovery, it just brings up new ideas and ways to use this amazing app that we've been very impressed with. So I'm from the Brisbane City Council. We have 3 environment centers across Brisbane, and I'm the Visitor Services Coordinator. So we started our Agents of Discovery journey last year and got the app up and running and planning our missions in about July 2019. It's been a great way to encourage people all around the city to get out to our 3 different environment centers, which are also located on reserves in the city. So we wanted to encourage people to, one, come to the centers, but also engage more with the reserve and learn more about the local ecosystems and conservation and sustainability through the use of the app and making it fun. We don't have a lot of track signage on our tracks and our reserves, so this is a great way for us to encourage that learning while outside. Just to give you guys a bit of scope, Brisbane City Council is the largest local government in Australia, so we do have a very large community to reach out to, and habitat from mountains to mangroves and wetlands to deal with. So using this app, we can do a lot with that. We're currently starting our journey with creating oh, sorry, Mary, I forgot the word, but a campaign with a few of our other local councils, so Sunshine Coast City Council, as well as the Gold Coast City Council, to create a campaign so people could basically travel from the northern end of Southeast Queensland to the southern part and have various missions along the way to complete. So here in Australia, we're just probably about 2 weeks behind the States with COVID-19. We shut down our centers at the end of March, and our schools are still on fall break, and they'll return back next Monday to online learning. So we're working very closely with our marketing and comms teams at the moment to get as much virtual experiences that we can online to our communities. We obviously can't encourage them to go to our reserves, so having this platform and learning what mission conservation is doing is super helpful for me and our team, so that we can really encourage people to still use, get some green time outside in their backyards, as well as if they are in isolation, they can still learn in a fun way at home. So
Great.
thanks everyone for having us.
Well, thank you so much, Christine. And it is really great to think that, you know, players around and youth around the world are able to take advantage of this. It's great to have Brisbane represented. And I know, Misty, you're excited about that international perspective. So thanks for sharing that. Okay, well, we want to thank all of you for joining. We hope that you will choose to join Misty and the team at WOW for Mission Conservation. Please reach out to us if you would like to help promote Mission Monday, and we will make the appropriate connections for you. We are going to now switch to actually showing you how to turn your mission into an image triggered mission. So if you'd like to join us for, it will be about a 15-minute demo. Please feel free to stay on. If you're wanting to not join for this and we're just wanting to chat about mission conservation, that's fine too, all good. As I said, there will be a recording available of this webinar afterwards. So go ahead and add any questions you might have to the group chat. But Misty, want to thank you so much and your team for leadership. And I think you're making a huge difference for youth, not only across the US, but also we have a lot of Canadian partners on the line today and even in Australia. So thank you to the WOW team. Great job.
Thank you, Mary, for having us and working with us.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take over again. And for those of you still interested, I'm going to be going through a quick demo on how to turn your existing GPS missions into IR trigger activated missions. So some of you, I'm sure a lot of you are very excited to host the mission conservation missions and help promote those. But a lot of you have been asking, can I take my already existing GPS mission and make that into a trigger mission so that my guests can play that from home as well? And we are happy to tell you that you absolutely can totally do that 100%. So there are a couple of things that you do need to make sure that you've taken care of beforehand. Namely, first off, I will need to make all of our free IR triggers available in your package. I will be doing that with every partner eventually once I have time to go through the list. But for anybody who is keen on turning your missions into IR right away, please let me know and I will be happy to add those triggers to your package. And I'll also send you some background images that you can overlay on top of your map so that people aren't confused by the map itself, like should I be on site? So in this example here, I've just taken a quick mission that I've called the IR trigger demo. I've uploaded a custom background, just a nice little chalkboard image here, just so people aren't confused by the map in the background. And this is just going to be a simple 3-challenge mission with some image challenges here. And just like any other mission, I can turn this from GPS to mixed, and I'm going to show you how to do that for yours as well. So the first thing you need to make sure of for your mission is that the challenge mode is set to either trigger or mixed. So to do that, you want to make sure that you're going directly to your mission and editing the mission itself. And then in the challenge mode here, yours will likely be set to GPS by default, which means that all of your challenges are going to be activated by location. You just want to make sure that that is set to either trigger or mixed. So in this demo, I'm going to set it to mixed, which means that I have the option to pair these up with trigger groups if I want to, but if I decide not to, then the challenges that I have not linked to trigger groups will automatically just be activated by GPS. So I'm going to keep this on mixed for now. I'm just going to use these 3 challenges and I'm going to link each and every one of them to a different trigger group. So now that I've hit mixed, I just want to quickly hit save on this mission, and then I'll go into the trigger group section and show you exactly how to actually link those trigger groups to your challenges. So when you contact me, I'll be sending you a nice package full of our different field agent images and some of our other Agents of Discovery assets. I've reserved these 3 specifically. These are the ones I'm going to use for this demo. Again, most of these are available on the Mission Conservation website, but once you contact me directly, I will make sure that you have all of these ready to go as well. So from the main mission page, you just need to locate your mission. So for us, it's going to be the IR trigger demo, and I just want to click on View Challenges on in this section of the mission page. I can also get to this section from the left sidebar here. As I'm sure most of you know from building your own missions, it's all kind of in the same place. So I'm just going to click on View Challenges, and there's a couple of different ways that I can get to trigger groups so that I can decide which triggers I want to link to my challenges. So I'll just briefly give the challenge page a minute to load here. And there we go. So it's tuned to the IR trigger demo. These are the 3 challenges I want. And now to edit my trigger groups, I can either click on trigger groups up here next to my challenges, or it's also a sub option in the left sidebar menu. So I'm just going to click on trigger groups up here. And it should take me to a page with absolutely nothing created because I don't have any trigger groups yet for this mission. So up here, I just want to make sure that it is set to my IR trigger demo. It's the only mixed mission. Oh, I guess there's a builder demo in here that's trigger, but you'll notice that all of these GPS missions are grayed out. That means I absolutely cannot assign triggers to them. If you're noticing that your mission is grayed out, it probably just means you haven't set it to mixed yet. So definitely make sure that you've set it to either mixed or trigger. And from here, I need to actually create my trigger groups. So I have 3 challenges and I have 3 different images, and each one of these is going to activate a different challenge. So I need to create 3 trigger groups, 1 for each of these pictures. I'm going to do that by selecting Create Trigger Group up here in the top left corner. And there's going to be a window dialog box that comes up with a couple of options for me. So we do have the option to set up trigger groups with either QR codes or full-on images. So that toggle is up here in the top right corner. It's currently set to QR by default, but I'm just going to click this, and it's going to set it to an actual image. So briefly just reviewing the files that I wanted. I want the woodpecker, the black bear, and the butterfly, and this one is the woodpecker. So this should be good. When I'm going through the app, it'll tell me basically this trigger group, this marker is going to appear on the mission map. And once I select it, it's going to tell me to be on the lookout for a woodpecker. So I'm going to hit save. And I've created this trigger group now. I haven't linked it to any challenges yet. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I just want to make sure right now that I have other trigger groups created for my 2 other images. So once again, I'm hitting create trigger group. I'm setting my trigger type to IR. I can't use the acorn woodpecker again because I've already used it. So now I'm going to go down to the black bear, and I'm just going to create a black bear trigger group for this image. And then there's one last one that I wanted to use, and I believe that's our blue-winged butterfly. Yeah, okay. So that one should be under the blue butterfly, and there we go. So I'm just going to call this one butterfly. And I'm going to hit save on that, and we should be good to go. Okay, so now that I've created all 3 of my trigger groups, I need to actually link them to my challenges so that they will activate those challenges when I scan them. So in order to do this, now that I've created them, I can select this linked challenges button. So I'm going to do that for the black bear. So I'm going to hit link challenges. And now in this window that's going to pop up, it's going to display all of my challenges here. And if I click on the plus button next to any of these challenges, it will link that challenge to this trigger. So I'm going to click it on the FBI challenge here. And when I do, the FBI challenge is going to show up on my map because now I can move it around if I want to. You'll see that I have the trigger marker up here, and this is the marker for the actual trigger. So the way that this works, when I'm actually going through the mission on the app, I'm going to load this map up, and none of my challenge markers are going to be visible. Only my trigger markers will be. So when I select this trigger marker, it's going to ask me to scan the black bear. I'm going to scan it, and once I successfully scan the black bear, this trigger marker is going to disappear, and the challenge that's linked to it will show up in its place. So I just want to make sure that my trigger markers are in the same relative place as my challenges, just so that it's not cluttering the screen. And this looks pretty good. So FBI is linked to black bear. That's all good and well. I'm going to hit save, and that means from now on, whenever I scan the black bear trigger for this mission, it's going to unlock that FBI challenge. So now I just need to do the same for my butterfly and woodpecker triggers. So with the butterfly one, I'm going to link this to our animal helmet challenge. And once again, animal helmet is down here in the bottom left, so I want to move my trigger marker so that it's also in the same spot. And that looks pretty good, so I'm going to hit save. Now, before I do this, actually, I just wanted to let you know that you can link multiple challenges to the same trigger if you want to. So I can, in fact, select We Can Fly, and that means that if both of these are selected, then when I scan the butterfly trigger, it will actually activate both of these challenges at the same time. So I'm going to cancel that for now because I want to link We Can Fly to the woodpecker. And typically this is how most of our guests do this for partners who already are using IR challenges. Usually they will create exactly as many trigger groups as they have challenges and make sure that one challenge is linked to one trigger. So I'll hit save on that, and then I'll do the last link for the woodpecker trigger here. And I just want to make sure that this one is linked to We Can Fly. And again, I'm just moving my trigger marker to the same place as my challenge marker, and I'm hitting save. So at this point, all of my challenges are linked to trigger groups, which means that I should be able to just launch the app and scan those triggers to complete those challenges. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to minimize this. I'm going to make sure that my photos are ready, and once again, you can have these photos available either on the screen, you can just scan them from the screen directly, or you can print them out and scan the cards that you've printed. So at this point, I just want to load the app again and put my phone screen onto my PC. And I'm just bringing this over quickly. So now I'm actually going to go through the mission. And really quickly, I'm just going to actually, I'm just going to quickly reload. Oh, I'm not sure what happened to my feed there. Let's try that again. Okay. Let's put that there. And okay, so I'm loading the app, and I'm just going to wait for it to load. And the IR trigger demo mission is already live, so I'm just going to go straight to missions. I'm not going to worry about logging in because this is just a 3-challenge mission. And I'm going to load. And for me, because it's right near where I live, it's at the top of my list. So I'm going to select it and hit play. And Agent Siegel is telling me that my mission today is to learn the wonderful ins and outs of image trigger recognition. So I'm going to tap to continue. I am getting a slight out of bounds message because the exact block that I dropped this mission on doesn't quite line up with my with the place where I live, but it doesn't matter because this is a trigger image. And even though I'm out of bounds, I'm still going to show you that you can scan these triggers and they will work. So it doesn't matter where you're located. So right now on my map, I have the 3 trigger markers that I had set down. So I'm just going to go through these one by one and show you how they work now that I've set them up. So I'm going to tap on this one on the left, and it's going to ask me to scan for the butterfly. So I'm going to open up this butterfly image. And I'm going to bring my phone up. And apologies for the slight lag that we're seeing here, but it's telling me that I found the monarch butterfly. And once I've scanned that trigger, it's bringing up the challenge immediately. So this is the pre-challenge info for the animal helmet challenge. and it's telling me how animals keep themselves safe in nature. So I just need to select which animal looks best like a helmet, and that's probably our good friend, Mr. Tortoise. So I'm gonna select him, check my answer, and there we go. So that's correct. And I'm gonna close off that challenge, and there we go, we've completed it. So as you can see, the trigger marker that was initially here has disappeared now that I've scanned the butterfly image, and in its place is the challenge marker with a big green check mark on it because we've already completed it. So the butterfly is good, I can close that, and now I'm gonna move to this middle marker, and this one is asking for the black bear, so I'm gonna open the black bear image. And I'm just gonna bring my phone up to it and give it a second. As I had mentioned before in the first demo, I do not need to press any buttons on my phone in order to actually have it scan. It's just doing its own thing. It's looking for the black bear, and once it sees it and recognizes it, it'll pull up the new challenge. So this one is a fungi, bacteria, and insects challenge, our FBI challenge. This one's a really popular one. I'm sorry to make you all look at images of millipedes and bacteria and mushrooms, but I'm just briefly going through the answers in this, and there we go. So I've gotten that right, and this challenge has been completed, so I'm gonna hit close. And once again, now we have 2 completed challenges and only 1 remaining trigger marker. So I'm going to hit this trigger marker on the right, and finally what it's going to ask us is to scan the woodpecker. So again, I just need to take about 10 seconds to have this woodpecker load. And once it's available, I'll bring my phone up again, and I'm just scanning the woodpecker, and there we go. So I found Agent Acorn Woodpecker, and there's my agent brief. Once again, I'm reading my pre-challenge, and I'm gonna hit close, and I'm going to choose an animal to make a set of wings based on. Probably not a bear, probably not any fish or penguins or any Antarctic birds. The bald eagle is probably our best choice, so I'm gonna hit check answer, and there we go. So I've completed this last mission, which means that as soon as I hit close, I should see my mission rewards message, and there we go. So we've mastered the magic of IR, and now all our guests can have amazing experiences, even if our location isn't currently accessible. So that essentially wraps up the demo now that I've completed all of my challenges. There we go. So I have absolutely no remaining IR trigger markers on the screen. The only thing in their place are these challenge markers, which I have completed to the best of my ability. So they're all green and they're all good to go. So this essentially wraps up the tutorial for IR triggers. It's very easy to do. Like I said, all you need to do is make sure that your mission is set to allow mixed challenges and that you have received those IR triggers from the team here at AOD. We will be, like I said, we will be making these available to everyone as we go along, but for anybody that wants to get started on this right away, reach out to me as soon as possible and I will definitely add that to your package. So at this point in time, I'm going to close this off and we will open the floor for questions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Now, Michelle is asking, are the trigger images printed so that children can scan while outside? And yes, Michelle, what if you were wanting, just like Misty has done, you have your triggers available as a PDF, and then the people can print them out and place them around the yard or outside. So they don't have to scan them at a desktop computer. I hope that makes sense. But you'll notice on the WOW website, you could print them out. You click here to print them out, click print out a PDF, and then you can place them, wherever you want your learners to get that particular challenge. I hope that answers the question. Yes, and Kathleen, if you can reach out to us, we will definitely tell you more about the Washington Explorer campaign. Do we have to use the images you provide? Yes, we are providing them to you right now. for the pandemic at no charge. You could, if you want, like they have done at WOW, create your own triggers, no problem. There is a charge for that. And so Angelina, for now, we're providing you with generic triggers for free. But if at New York State Parks you want to create some customized triggers, you can use signs at your parks. Like Misty was explaining, they're using their exhibits at Wonders of Wildlife. Anything can trigger a challenge. So if you want customized triggers, just talk to us. We can help you get that set up. So that's sort of the same question as Lily. Can we use only pre-selected the icons to scan? And we're providing these to you so that you can have some fun experience, provide fun experiences for your learners at home during the pandemic. But you can talk to us if you want to create customized triggers, because we can certainly help you with that. Do we get backgrounds from you too? I think by that you might mean the customized map, and yes, we can provide those. Jay, did you want to add something to that? I think Zoe is.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a collection of generic backgrounds that we use. Basically, our art team made them just for generic posters every now and then, because most of our partners are eligible for free posters, but not all of them include their own photos. So we sometimes have generic photos that we use, which we've also been supplying as custom map backgrounds for people at this time, and they seem to really like those. So I'll send you a zip file which contains some of those generic images, and you are more than welcome to use those to your heart's content.
Conservation Federation would certainly be happy to help you locate the missions. You click on the missions, and then you can just use the little search button to find the mission for whatever is the mission each Monday. But we're happy. Please reach out. We are here to help you. So 100%, if you're having trouble, I'm not sure of the name, it just says Conservation Federation, we would be happy to help you locate the mission every week. Once you find the first one, it'll sort of make more sense, but just click on missions and use your little search bar, type in the mission you're looking for, and it should pop up for you. So it looks like that is all the questions. Jay, thank you very much for that excellent presentation. I hope that it feels clear to you. I know that it can sometimes feel clear, and then you get off the phone and you go, geez, what do I do again? So the main two things you need to remember, as Jay emphasized, are that you have to switch your mission, if it's currently set on geo-triggered, to either mixed or just to image triggered, whatever you want. I prefer going right to image triggered if you're going to do just an image triggered mission. Mixed is if you're going to have both. And then you have to get the images from us. We'll drop them into your package, and then you can pick the ones that you want and link them to the challenges that you want. You can create your own customized missions at home, and you can also help work with WOW and promote the Mission Monday. So there will be lots for kids to do, hopefully, and they'll continue to learn and love nature. So thanks, everyone. And Jay and I are on the line. I don't know, Kendra, if you're still on the line. So we're here for you if you want to ask any more questions. If not, like I said, there will be a recording available. We are going to be doing another webinar on Friday at 10. We weren't able to accommodate everyone today. So if you feel you need a recap, you're welcome to join us on Friday. And thank you very much, everyone. We're really happy to be able to help out with this situation. And, if there's anything you need, just reach out. You guys keep up the great work.